Okay, so for millions of Canadians, the rules around citizenship are about to change in a really big way. And honestly, it's all happening pretty quietly. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the significant new regulations for dual citizens that you absolutely need to know about. And this question, it really gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? If you hold a second passport, or you split your time between countries, or even if you immigrated here decades ago but kept your original citizenship, well, these new regulations could directly affect you. The ground is definitely shifting. And you're going to want to circle this date on your calendar, March 2026. This isn't some vague, far-off idea. It is the firm deadline when a new, much stricter set of regulations will officially kick in. So there is a very clear timeline for getting prepared.
So, what exactly is going on here? Well, since 1977, Canada has been pretty relaxed about dual citizenship. That is all changing. The government is bringing in a system with much stricter compliance and reporting requirements. And this isn't just a minor adjustment, we're talking about a fundamental policy shift.
Yeah, these are not minor tweaks. This is a brand new federal framework. We're talking annual declarations, enhanced security screenings, stricter financial reporting. The IRCC, that's Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, has been working on these for over 2 years as part of a much bigger push on national security. So the big question is, why now? Why is this all happening? Well, the government's reasoning really boils down to 3 core drivers that are completely reshaping how Canada approaches citizenship. Okay, so first, there's pressure from allies, especially the US, to tighten up our passport controls. Second, the Canada Revenue Agency wants to crack down hard on tax avoidance from citizens who live abroad. And third, with diplomatic tensions on the rise, Canada wants more control over citizenships from countries like China, Russia, and Iran. Just to give you an idea of the scale here, this is massive. We're talking about 5.9 million Canadians who hold dual citizenship. That is 1 out of every 6 of us. So this isn't some niche issue. It's a policy change that's going to touch a huge portion of the population, including an estimated 1.2 million seniors. So who's going to be most affected by all this? While the rules technically apply to everyone, let's be real, the government is putting certain groups under a new, much more powerful microscope. Here's who really needs to pay close attention. We're talking about our snowbirds who spend the winter in warmer places. Anyone holding citizenship from a country Canada considers high risk. People with property or significant financial assets overseas. You're on the list. It even affects permanent residents from certain countries applying for citizenship, and it can make it harder to sponsor your own family members. Let's look at what this actually means in practice. If you're a senior abroad for more than 6 months, you'll have to file an annual declaration. If you have a high-risk citizenship, get ready for mandatory security screenings every 5 years. And if you own assets overseas, expect much more detailed financial reporting to the CRA. And this is where things get, well, honestly, pretty scary for some people. This quote really hits it. What happens if Canada's rules put you in an impossible situation? For someone from Iran, for example, their law doesn't even recognize renouncing citizenship. They literally cannot comply if asked to. And as the source says, nobody knows what happens then. That uncertainty is terrifying for a lot of families. Oh, and you better believe there are teeth to these new rules. The financial penalties are serious. This isn't a slap on the wrist. For failing to report overseas assets, fines will start at $2,500 and can climb all the way to $12,000 for repeated violations. And that's on top of any interest on unpaid taxes. Okay, let's just address the biggest fear head on. Can the government actually take away your Canadian citizenship? The short answer is yes, but the circumstances are changing, and the whole process is basically being streamlined to make it easier for the government to do it. So let's look at the before and after. Before 2026, revocation was mostly for stuff like fraud on your original application. After 2026, though, the new rules make it way easier for the IRCC to just start an investigation and get the revocation ball rolling. And get this, they're bringing back modified versions of old national security rules that were previously taken off the books. All right, enough about the problems. Let's talk solutions. Being proactive here is absolutely crucial, not reactive. So here is a clear 5-step action plan you can use to get ready before that March 2026 deadline sneaks up on you. First off, check your documents. Make sure every piece of personal info the IRCC has on you is up to date. Second, track your time. Keep meticulous records of any and all travel outside of Canada. Third, and this is so important, talk to an immigration lawyer now, before they all get swamped.
Fourth, if it's an option for you, you might have to seriously evaluate renouncing your other citizenship. And fifth, get your taxes in perfect order with the CRA.
Now, even though the government is pushing ahead, this whole thing is far from a done deal. There are some major unanswered questions out there, and, you can bet, the near certainty of legal challenges that could change everything. I mean, legal experts are all asking the same thing. Will these rules even survive a court challenge under the Charter of Rights? What's the plan for people who can't legally give up their other citizenship? And maybe the biggest question of all, where is the public awareness campaign? The rollout has been surprisingly quiet, which is exactly why getting this information out there is so vital right now. So here's the bottom line. The deadline is set, the changes are very real, and they are going to affect millions of people. The question isn't if this is happening, it's whether you'll be ready when it does. You have until March 2026. Are you prepared?